Arrogant police slaps the wrong woman. She returns in full uniform and their world crumbles. Before we dive into today's story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It was a quiet morning in the city. People were walking to work, cafes were opening, and the air felt like any other normal day. But inside a small police station in downtown Houston, a decision was about to be made that would change the lives of several officers forever. 2 officers, known in the department for their harsh behavior, were patrolling the streets. They believed they were above the law. They thought they could act as they pleased, especially when dealing with civilians. What they did not know was that today their arrogance would catch up with them in a way they could never imagine. They spotted a woman waiting near a parked vehicle. She was calm, composed, and wearing simple clothes. They did not recognize her. They thought she was just another person they could intimidate. So, without asking any questions, they approached her with force. What happened next was both shocking and disgraceful. One of the officers slapped the woman across the face. The other pushed her, yelling at her to move along. People watched in horror, but no one dared to intervene. But here's what they did not know. This woman was not just anyone. She was a high-ranking officer in the military police, and she was not someone who stayed silent. She returned, not in plain clothes but in full uniform, and when she walked into that police station again, everything changed. Officer Parker and Officer Stevens were known throughout the city, not because they were heroes or respected peacekeepers, but because they often used their authority to bully and intimidate. Complaints had piled up over the years, but nothing ever stuck. They had powerful friends. They knew how to bend the system. Their targets were often the weak, the voiceless, and the ones who could not fight back. They never imagined that someday they would choose the wrong person, someone who could and would fight back with everything she had. When they saw the woman near the parked SUV, they did not ask her who she was or what she was doing. They made assumptions. To them, she looked like someone suspicious, maybe homeless, maybe causing trouble. But the truth was, the woman was waiting for her husband, who was inside a nearby bakery buying coffee. She was standing next to a government vehicle, which had her official badge inside on the dashboard. But none of that mattered to the arrogant officers. They acted fast, loud, and violent. The slap echoed through the street like a gunshot. The woman stood frozen in disbelief. She tried to speak, but Officer Parker grabbed her arm and accused her of resisting. Officer Stevens warned her to leave the area or face arrest. The woman, still stunned, looked around. People had pulled out their phones. A few were recording, but no one stepped forward. Then the woman quietly said something that made both officers pause. "You just made the worst mistake of your lives." She walked away. No yelling, no violence. She did not fight back. But her silence was not weakness. It was control. It was power. The officers laughed it off, unaware that within hours, everything they knew was going to collapse. Later that day, the front door of the same police station opened. The room fell silent. Officers inside turned to see a woman in a dark green military police uniform walk in. Her posture was perfect. Her face was serious. Her eyes were calm but sharp. Behind her, 2 men followed, both from the Internal Affairs Division. It was the same woman they had slapped just hours earlier, but now she was not just a woman in plain clothes. She was Major Elena Brooks of the United States Military Police Corps. She walked straight to the captain's office. The internal affairs officers stayed behind to speak with others. The captain, confused, stood up as she entered. She removed her cover, her military cap, placed it on the desk, and calmly laid out everything that had happened. The officers who had assaulted her were called into the office. They froze when they saw her in uniform. At first, they tried to deny everything, but multiple videos from bystanders had already been sent to internal affairs. The footage was clear. The sound was even clearer. The officers had no way out. They had not only assaulted a civilian, they had assaulted a decorated military police officer. What's worse, they had done it while wearing their own uniforms, representing the very system they had now disgraced. Major Brooks did not raise her voice. She did not insult or threaten. She simply said, "You will answer for what you've done, and this time, your badges won't protect you." News spread like wildfire. "Police officers assault military officer" was the headline on every channel. Social media exploded with outrage. Videos from the incident went viral. People demanded justice. Politicians got involved. The mayor had no choice but to release a statement promising full accountability. Major Brooks, despite being the victim, stayed away from cameras. She refused interviews. She believed the case should be handled through proper legal channels, not through public outrage. But her silence only made her more respected. She became a symbol of quiet strength. The officers were suspended, and the investigation grew deeper. More people came forward with complaints about their past behavior. 6 months later, a courtroom was filled with media, lawyers, and the public. The officers faced criminal charges: assault, abuse of power, and misconduct. But this was not just about 2 officers. This case opened the door to a much larger investigation. Internal Affairs began looking at the entire department's culture. Dozens of complaints were revisited. The police chief was forced to resign. Reforms were announced. New training programs were created. But the most powerful moment came when Major Brooks took the stand. She described the slap, the shame, the silence of the crowd, and how she chose not to retaliate with violence, but with discipline and justice. Her testimony moved the courtroom. Even the judge paused before delivering the verdict. Both officers were found guilty. They were stripped of their badges and sentenced to serve time. But the punishment was not just legal, it was social. They became the faces of everything wrong with unchecked police power. Major Brooks, meanwhile, received the Medal of Civil Courage from the mayor, not for fighting back with fists, but for standing up with integrity. Her story was taught in police academies across the country. She returned to duty stronger than ever and more respected than before. This story is not just about 2 bad cops. It is about the power of integrity. It is about how quiet strength can shake corrupt systems. And it is a reminder that sometimes the strongest people are the ones who do not yell, who do not hit back, but who believe in justice even when the system tries to silence them. Thank you for watching this powerful story of courage, justice, and redemption. If you are moved by Major Brooks's strength and determination, make sure to leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And don't forget, Major Elena Brooks's quiet courage didn't just hold 2 corrupt officers accountable. It sparked a change that echoed far beyond a single courtroom. If her strength moved you, please leave a comment and share this story. Together, we can keep shining a light on stories that matter. Thank you for being part of this journey with Stories Abode.